Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Up Supercast Game Club. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. And joining me today, I've got Ilse.
Checkpoint.
And I got Noah.
Woohoo!
And on this episode of the Up Supercast Game Club, we played a game called Lucky Luke for the PlayStation 1. Noah, you picked this game for us this time. And Lucky Luke was published by Infogrames. I hate that name, by the way. I've always hated that name, Infogrames.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Developed by Infogrames as well, and well, I think actually Ocean, which is like a European developer, and it was released in May 1998 on the, like I said, the PS1. Also, there was a Windows version apparently.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So this game is based on the Lucky Luke comic slash it was a comic, and also it was turned into many other things, cartoon, TV series, there's toys and all sorts
it was
of stuff.
one of those series, like it was Lucky Luke and Asterix and Obelix that were made in Europe by France, I think. Both originated.
France.
French creators.
Yeah, France.
And it was only known in Europe, not really outside of it. Like America, everybody I've asked that's from America don't even know who these characters are, or what the series is.
Yeah, they did not take off in America really. They were very popular in parts of Europe.
Which is surprising because it's surprising because this franchise has gotten 10 games.
Yeah.
Like the fuck.
And a lot of them have been released in North America.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's a character. Lucky Luke himself is based on an American stereotype, and it's based. The comic takes place in America, and a lot of characters and stuff are references to real life people from Western American history. So yeah, it's interesting. It just never took off in America, but was big in parts of Europe. So. Yeah, a lot of people, if you're listening to this and you're in America, you probably you might not know of Lucky Luke, but yeah, this was the game based on that franchise. I wasn't familiar with it.
It's kind of weird that France would make a comic based on American culture like that.
Yeah,
I just found that very strange, on the face of it, having a long-running series about a character that's basically an American, but he's actually French, and
it's like
weird.
A cowboy, basically in the Wild West.
It kind of makes me think, does France have anything of their own that they want to write about, or?
Oh, they did. That's what Asterix. Well, I think it's based off. Asterix and Obelix was more about Gaul. I think it was in the past it was called Gaul, before it was taken over by the Romans. It was a resistance and part of France that was resisting the Romans, the ancient Romans rule.
Yeah.
So they built the story around that, where they were the only village in France that were holding against them.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
I didn't even know that, but Lucky Luke, the character Lucky Luke, he's a cowboy, obviously, and he's known as the man who shoots faster than his shadow, but he is a very laid-back character. He's just kind of, from what I understand, because I'm not super familiar with the franchise, but from the game portrays him as very just laid-back and kind of,
that's very accurate.
Whatever, going with the flow, kind of. He doesn't seem to have a lot of he doesn't get really either nervous or into it, or he's just kind of relaxed all the time. That's what it seems like, at least from the game. And he's got a horse, and the horse's name is Jolly Jumper. And his main villains that he goes against are the Dalton brothers, which are also the villains in the video game. And the Dalton brothers are loosely based off of the actual characters. Not character, but real life people. The Dalton brothers from the Dalton gang from the early the 1890s. So they're based on real people. There's a lot, from what I read, there's a lot of actual real life historical figures that were portrayed in these comics.
Yeah, the comic, they got like people like Jesse James, they got Calamity Jane, like all those famous Western people.
Which only ones I think that are in this game are the Dalton brothers. I don't really know.
That's pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, Lucky Luke, PS1. The comic aside, this video game obviously is based on that franchise. And it's, in terms of a genre for this, it's like, they just kind of mixed a bunch of them together for this game. It's like a platformer that has like puzzle elements to it. Has some shooter parts. It has some fighting parts. They did it's like a grab bag of stuff. I feel like this. That's what this game is.
Yeah.
They just tried a whole bunch of things, which is one thing I will give this game credit for. Is you tried a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every level was pretty unique.
But yeah, I mean, I guess
it tried a lot of things, but I don't think it did anything well.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna get into that when we talk about each like thing that because it tried a lot of things, but none of them like were. It's almost like it would have been better if they just focused on one thing and made it good. That's what I felt like, because there's a couple of levels that use the same type of like platforming sections. It's like almost every other level. But the game starts you off and it's a platforming level, but it's more of a puzzle. It has more puzzle elements to it than just like pure like action platforming.
When you use his gun, you basically have to aim at other objects in order to bounce the bullets off those objects to hit things. It's
in the foreground or the background.
It's interesting. I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I mean, it's not exactly exciting or engaging. I don't know.
And it's not. I mean, instantly right off the bat, I realized while playing it through the first level, like one Lucky Luke, he walks incredibly fucking slow. There's a run button, but like his default walking speed is like, what the fuck? Like he's so slow. You almost always like, I'm always holding the run button while I'm playing.
Well, yeah. I mean, that goes to go for any platformer, really.
I mean, but he should just have a faster walking speed than that. It was just like, what the hell?
It fits his character perfectly, though. Like, that's how chill he is. You said it yourself earlier.
Yeah, but it was like almost obnoxiously slow. And then you can shoot in most levels. Some levels you can't.
Yeah.
But you can shoot, and you have like infinite ammo, and you just keep like tapping the button. You can shoot as much as you want.
Yeah, you can aim in like almost like in 8 well, not 8. Was it 1, 2, 3? Like 5 directions, basically.
Yeah.
Like up, left, right, up, diagonally.
And one thing I noticed with the shooting, like we mentioned that you have to like shoot things to ricochet them off. Some of them are like weird to hit. Like the hitbox for them, like there's like a frying pan on a barrel, and it's like just like if you're just shooting straight, it's like it's too high. But even if you duck, you miss it. It's weird, like trying to actually hit it. I don't know if like that was just me, but I was like, what the fuck? Like you had to be on like a different lane. Because the game kind of has like these like lanes that you like automatically walk through. And if you're not on the exact lane it wants you to, like it doesn't hit, even though it looks like the bullets are going right towards it.
Yeah. This was more like a thing only for the first level, really.
Yeah.
Like, after the first level, you really don't bounce bullets off very much.
No, you don't.
It's just strange.
It's just strange. I mean, they did like every level's like almost like different. Which again is like good for variety, but if none of them were executed like amazingly, is the thing.
Like when you get to the second level, it becomes like a horseback ride where it's more like a Contra game where you're just kind of like shooting at the enemies on a train.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought that was kind of cool because I liked how the perspective shifted like halfway through the level because you were trying to catch up with the train.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too, but the aiming is garbage. It's incredibly hard to know where Lucky Luke is aiming. You have like this unreliable auto aim to it, and wow, it really sucks. And to top that off, you have to dodge enemy projectiles, and those things are very hard to see.
Yeah, they're wicked hard to see. They're just like white dots, and yeah, they're extremely hard to see. And you have to dodge stuff that's coming, like jump over things too, while you're shooting at stuff, which would all be fine, but it just it just was not very polished. I felt like.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what you eat. I mean, I thought that was one of the better levels in the game still, but because I thought that the shift of the camera angle, like going up, like you start with the tilted camera, like trying to catch up to the train, and you're just jumping over stuff on the horse, and then with the shooting, I was like, okay, this is like a good idea. I like this. This is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like maybe 3 levels I thought were interesting or pretty good. That was one of them. The mine I kind of liked because it was kind of like almost like a Metroidvania a little bit, where you have to like
explore, like
collect different parts of. You have to collect keys and to go find other doors, stuff like that. And it has some interesting platforming there. Yeah. Even though, man, those instant death pits suck ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other one was the desert, where he goes on like this ayahuasca trip where everything is like fucking weird and crazy, colorful, and wild shit is happening.
And shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool for like a PS1 game to show. It just becomes so colorful. It's a nice effect.
Yeah, that actually was pretty interesting. But yeah, every level, I actually agree with you. I think in terms of the levels, those were probably the best ones. Because the rest of them, like the in-between stuff, was bad. Like, I did not... It was bad.
I would say it ranges from meh to very fucking bad.
Yeah, it ranges from, like, okay, to almost boring because it's so easy, like the first-person part where you just, like, move the cursor around and shoot. Because you can just sit there and tap, like, as fast as you can, and you just, like, you don't have to reload. It's just, you just kill everything, like, instantly.
I thought that was, I thought that was a cool idea, but it wasn't fun. Like, it was boring.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been cool. And, like, it felt odd that there was no, like, visual feedback of, like, when you were shooting, like, a flash or, like, anything other than a little, Like, I was hoping for, like, some sort of, like, flash or, like, more impact on the bullets. But it was just, it was so boring because it was so easy. It was, like, impossible to lose on that level.
Yeah, and it was interesting, like, from a, like, story perspective. Like, this is the dramatic showdown in the Dalton City where you're shooting all the dudes. This is what the whole game is kind of like culminating to. So it would have been nice if that was actually, better.
Yeah.
But then, like we were saying, like, there are other levels that are also very shallow, like the saloon where it's just like 3 boxing fights. Like, I'm like, okay, why? they're kind of loose. They're kind of like, you just kind of punch them where they're not blocking, I guess. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes you get comboed. Not great.
There's punching and blocking. That's all there is. It's pretty simple, but it's weird. It's like, why? What? It was just like, now it's a fighting part. And that part was just okay. I don't think that part was necessarily bad.
Yeah.
But
it's all faithful to the comics because there's like a lot of bar fights and shit like that happening.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just the gameplay was not good. And it just came out of nowhere, and like it was a very short level, and yeah.
Yeah.
And then I felt the same thing about like the log cutting, level
competition.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? It just came out. It was just so random, and also, my biggest problem with that was like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing here? Because I had no idea. The game doesn't like tell you what to press, and all of a sudden you're thrown into like a mini game, and I'm like, okay, so it's like wood chopping. Maybe I gotta like press like a button and then like have it time and like hit the button at the right time when you're about to hit the wood. But literally, it just came down to just mashing buttons.
Mashing button. Yep.
That's all.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's like
so
three
weird.
of them in a row, and they're all exactly the same. You just fucking mash the button. It's like, that's it. That's all it is.
It's so weird because the game does not tell you at all what to press, and you actually have to press two buttons at once. And I had no idea, so I just lost like 3 times in a row. I was like, "Oh, come on, dude."
Yeah, me too.
What?
And I was like, I pressed each button like individually. I'm like, nothing is doing anything. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the fact that it's just like a level based on mashing for like 2 big sections of that level, like it's a very short level, but goddamn, I don't want to mash buttons, bro. Leave me alone.
Yeah, for the mini game when you have to arm wrestle the horse, like I lost because I didn't know exactly what to do, but like also like that's fine because it's just a little like bonus game in between the level, and it's like
Yeah, I never got that
That's
one.
that's basically how I figured out what buttons to mash, so I knew what to press when that time came around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if you collect the bees, I think you get bonus levels in between the levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always got the shooting gallery. I never got the poker one or the arm wrestling.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, it's super weird.
There's the shooting gallery. I think was there another one? I can't remember if there was another one or not.
Speaking
Don't
of
think so. I think
bonus
it's
levels,
supposed
I thought that was a cool idea. Like the fact that you get the bonus level for the bees, that's nice. But the fact that you actually kind of need them if you don't get 100 coins or 100, what are they? Are they coins?
It's just dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the level, you
dollar
get to
signs,
buy. Yeah, you either get to, with all the money you collect from the levels, you get to either buy the password, so you know you can continue from that level on if you ever shut the game off, or you can buy extra lives, which is like pretty cheap. And
cheaper,
yeah, and yeah, you can stockpile on lives pretty fast, but you probably will need it on certain levels.
Yeah, you want the password. That's really the thing I always wanted. So like
if you
getting
get a game
those
over.
bonus levels was a huge thing to aim for because you always wanted to have enough to get those passwords.
Yeah, because if you get a game over, you don't want to have to start
Yeah.
from a past level and have to beat it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get $100 for that or $30 to buy extra lives. Which, yeah, I mean, the password, you could... I mean, in the day and age of the internet, you could always look up the password, you know, if you needed it, but in terms of actual, like, playing through the game, you'd want the password more.
Yeah, I just thought it was like interesting from a gameplay perspective because it made it like you wanted to do these, you wanted to get the money, you wanted to do the bonus levels. It gave you an extra incentive to do that.
Yeah, because it's not just coins, just for the sake of having collectibles for no reason. Like, you can actually use it, which is a good idea. In terms of the worst level in the game, I'm gonna
Minecart level?
say
The
minecart level. What the fuck was that shit?
Actually, fucking garbage.
Yeah, like why? That was so bad. It was awful. Like you could barely
the
tell.
idea, but it's just it was too long than it should have been. It should have been a lot shorter.
Why was there a time limit? It didn't do anything when it ran out of time either. I was like, okay. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna run out of time. What the hell's happening? And then nothing happened.
Actually ran out of time. What, nothing happened?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Oh, okay.
The thing
it's there to
is,
scare you.
yeah,
Because you
the thing
can
is about it.
go. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, they don't tell you how to use the minecart. Like, that's another thing. Like, you have to use the run button to make some jumps.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Like,
exactly.
you can slow down.
clear.
You can go fast. You can tilt to the left for a certain amount of time. You just.
God, I hate
constantly-
that so much.
Yeah. So like, you can't just hold left and you just go on your left wheel for like 5 minutes. No, it only lasts like a couple of seconds. So you have to actually time the gaps where you need to tilt the cart.
Which is a problem because everything looks so samey, and your behind the back perspective makes it a little bit harder to see everything as it's coming. You get very little warning sometimes.
Yeah, it's like it needed a better angle for that stuff.
Yeah, I don't need a behind the back section for a minecart. Like,
Yeah, just have a
It was
side camera.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but it was just executed very poorly. Like,
Yeah.
that's definitely the least favorite. Even though I thought it was cool, like, oh, I get a minecart level, but no.
yeah, I mean, it's cool in an idea sense, yeah, but damn, like those those pitfalls were so hard to judge sometimes.
And you get start from the beginning every time you die, unless you reach the checkpoint, which is halfway through the level, and then you just go around and do the whole level again backwards.
Yeah, that was. And when you go backwards, they don't even have signs for some of the for the falls. Oh my god, what a fucking waste.
Yeah, it was extremely frustrating. I hated it.
I lost like a good 25 lives on that fucking level. Good thing I had stockpiled up from before.
Yeah, it was frustrating, and I think that, and then the other, that was absolutely the worst level by far, because I had the same problem with the jumps, until I finally figured out you could actually, like, why would I have thought in my head that you can use the run button to speed up your car?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't even make, sense in terms of, like, you know, you're not gonna be like, oh, I should press run to make my cart go faster, because, like, it's a cart, you know, it's usually just going by momentum, like, it was weird. Once I figured it out, I was like, okay, now I can. But I had died like a million times already. Like, it's just already mad.
You have to hit the switches by leaning toward them.
Yeah, and if you don't hit the right switch, you like go around in fucking circles. Have to keep doing the same jumps again. Another level that I didn't like. I just got like I missed one of the collectibles and like just ran around the level like forever, and I was getting irritated. Was the waterfall one
where you have to collect the gold?
Yeah, you have to collect the gold pieces.
Yeah,
and like I just missed one, so I'm like running around that fucking place like just aimlessly. Like, where the fuck is it? And
this is another one where like it's a pretty good platforming, like, but damn, like if you get a bad checkpoint, like, and you die, you have to go all the way back, and like, oh man, it's so annoying.
Because I missed one that was not near the checkpoint, but every time I would fall, which would happen a decent amount, because you know, I just missed time something, and then I would be like, what the fuck? I'd die and then have to go all the way like back to the checkpoint, which normally would help, but in this case it wasn't, because I was trying to like go back to figure out where I missed it. It was pissing me off.
Like the minecart level, this is another level where you just have to go back and forth throughout the level. Like, it's essentially like you go all the way through the level and then you go all the way back, and that's it.
Yeah, because you have to go all the way back to give the guy the gold pieces, and then that's the end of the level. And then it was the one with like you had to find these like orbs, like in like this.
Oh, like, the Indian village, the Pueblos.
Yeah. What a weird level. What a weird place. It was just there was like
one of the levels where I got stuck at as a kid. I was just like confused.
Yeah, at first I didn't realize I had to follow the dog. I didn't fucking realize that, and I'm like, where the fuck do I go?
Yeah, it's pretty annoying that you have to collect them in order, but I get it. But damn, this is fuck.
Yeah, once I realized I had to follow the dog, it wasn't that bad. But like before then, I was like just running around like, okay, I found one, but what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Like, I'm like, I keep finding them, but they won't let me collect them, so I assume I have to collect them in order, but I don't know where it is. I'm like running around forever until I saw the dog and I was like, okay, and now then I realized you had to follow him, and then it was like, all right. But
yeah, it was annoying because also it was really hard to dodge those ghosts when they were coming at you. Like, super hard to jump over them. Like, you had to time it perfectly, and man, that sucked.
Yeah, well, and also weird design on the ghosts, and also weird design on those weird like birds that had like human faces. I was like, what the fuck are these?
So that is basically, there's a character in the Lucky Luke series that's basically the caretaker, the guy with the green face.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's always like going around measuring people to see like how big to build their coffin, and always like waiting for people to die so he obviously make profit off. So he's always been like the creepy, like just makes cameos as creepy characters. Like the vultures was one of them in the desert.
Yeah, the vultures. I was like, these are just weird. I thought it was because of the hallucination or something.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, odd. It was odd.
Yeah, he also does that like in one of the bar fights where like when you knock somebody out, he goes over to him and measures their body and it's like, oh, I have to get a coffin for this guy.
I noticed that.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I mean, then there's also boss fights in the game as well.
I like the boss fights. They were all like very. I don't know. I just liked it.
I like the one on the conveyor belt. And I guess the last one was okay. The first one was kind of annoying because it was like a tennis match, sort of, where you had to like hit back the items being thrown at you.
Yeah.
And man, that thing kind of sucked because the hitbox for them was just kind of trash, and you can't move while you're swinging. So fuck, you could easily die. You get hit. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree though. I did like the conveyor belt one. I thought that one was unique. Like, was it whoopee cushions that you were jumping on?
Something. I mean, I think so.
Something that held water in them. It was like shooting.
Maybe like water, like hot water bottles. Maybe
something like that. I don't know.
But yeah, I like that one. Final boss was a little annoying with the dropping platforms and you had to like time the jump to like jump when the bomb was exploding, so you didn't get hit by it.
That was a pretty hard thing to do. The time the jump.
Yeah.
But I mean, the boss itself was pretty easy.
It was very easy. For the final boss, it was extremely easy. But yeah, and then the game just kind of, you beat the Dalton brothers and then ride off into the sunset, and then the game's over. And then there are credits, I don't know if it was an emulator, but the credits had no music. I was like, okay, well.
I hated the music, so that's fine.
I thought it was very fitting to the environments.
I think so, but it was also very monotonous. Like, in the minecart level, the music was driving me insane.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and in terms of, like, visually, I think for the most part, like, it's going for a look to look like the comics, which I think, it
I was actually surprised on, like, the animations were very expressive. Like, it fitted the comics really well. Like, they did a really good job on that.
Yeah, I think the game looks mostly pretty good.
Yeah, I think the thing that was, I think, kind of looked weird to me was, I noticed it, especially on the train level, with you had, like, the hostages, and you had to, like, do that. It was, like, the hostages were 2D sprites, but, like, the people were 3D. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, anything that was actually interactable in the game and like moved were actually 3D models, whereas like anything that was background and shit, it was sprites. Like that was
it just looked bad like next to each other, like a 2D sprite and then like a 3D model, and it was just like, why they could have just
probably just saved on memory.
Sure, but it didn't look good. I thought, but the rest of it,
out,
like, yeah.
Why did enemies in boxes come back, but other enemies didn't? So weird.
I don't know.
Also weird. That was also very weird.
I did like that. After every time you died, and you got a checkpoint, you essentially kept all your progress. Like you kept everything you collected, and
if you collected
most of the enemies were already dead.
I actually exploited that, so like whenever I would when I collected, like, I went off track to collect, like, a bonus level token, or, like, was really difficult to get through, like, a bunch of pits and something, I would just die so I could just go all the way back to the checkpoint, just go, turn around and go the other way, since I have no reason to go back with this route I went to get the bonus thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I also think, like, the cutscenes were pretty good. Like, I thought they looked good. They look cartoony. They look suitably, like a comic. Pretty nice, especially for the PS1 era.
There was a narrator that I just thought it was odd that the narrator just randomly showed up like after the second level, but I did like the narrator.
Yeah, it was kind of like a pleasant, folksy voice. It was just like, Lucky Luke did this. It was all very, very calm and. It felt like a children's story. It
did. Which, I mean, a kid playing this game would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Be like, what do I fucking do?
Yeah, that's exactly what I felt like when I played this game the first time.
Yeah, I feel like it's not, like, for a game based on, like, a franchise like Lucky Luke that was, like, gonna be for, like, mostly aimed at children. I feel like the game was, like, too difficult for kids in a way. Like, frustratingly difficult, kind of, but also, like, cryptically difficult, too. Like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah. Yeah, like the desert and the pueblos, man, those sections were probably hell for a lot of kids.
Yeah, because if it was just like an action platformer, I feel like it would have been more suited for like kids. Like, they understand the concept of just starting from one side of the level and getting to the end, and shooting and stuff along the way. Like, I thought, in my head, that's what I thought this game was going to be like, but it was not that at all. And I think, if it was that and it was polished, it would have been better. Again, I do like that they tried a whole bunch of different things, but I just wish that they were all better. And yeah. So I don't know, you guys. I feel like I mentioned the bosses and everything. I feel like I wanted to mention all the levels that I wanted to talk about in terms of gameplay. So is there anything else that you guys want to mention? What your favorite levels were or whatever? I know Ailes already did. So
what are your favorite levels, Noah?
I'm not sure. I actually kind of like the one with the Indians and collecting the spheres. I like that one.
Yeah.
That and like the actual train level where you're actually on the train, like rescuing the hostages. I like that one too.
Mm-hmm.
It was just having like a lot of fun with the shooting mechanics on that whenever I could.
Yeah, I mean,
like I remember like the first time I actually like played the game. Like as soon as I found out there was like a shooting button and it was like there was infinite ammo, I just hold the button and just like aim at every direction. It just goes, it becomes a machine gun, just like all over the level. And just going after like the bad guys and shooting them. I don't know, I just found the shooting mechanic very satisfying and fun to do. Just the mindless fun kind of thing.
Yeah. I personally did not find it that fun, but I can see why you did. Especially as a child, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely can appreciate like how it was actually accurate to like the comics it was with the characters and how they behaved, especially with Bushwhack, like the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the dopey, stupid dog that always gets himself in accident. Like he's very accident prone, and like always like somehow is always connected to what's going on. Even though he's like he's the actual guard dog of the prison where the Dalton gang comes from. And he somehow is always on the adventure with Lucky Luke and just helping him out somehow by accident. Saving the day. It's like one of the lovable characters of the series that I'm glad that he was in this game. He was never mentioned by name, which I found weird.
No, he just appeared. Like he was he was where you got checkpoints and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into recommendations. And I'll start with you, Noah. Whether or not you'd recommend somebody to play this game.
If you're into the series, yeah, this is, like I said earlier, it's pretty faithful to the comics. It's decently fun, it can be frustrating at times, but I don't know if are there many, like, puzzle platformers, like, in that era, like at the PlayStation? I can't think of any.
Sure there were.
Well, this is one of them, so, yeah. If you're a fan
we had
of the series,
Oddworld,
yeah.
you can always play that.
True. That one, too.
Okay, Ills?
No, I did not like this game. I did not have fun with this game. I very much resent Noah for picking this game. I will say that like the platforming was mostly good. Like I did like the maneuverability he had in the air. Like you could always like adjust his jump as much as you wanted, which was pretty good.
You had complete control of his momentum.
Yeah, but having so many like instant death pitfalls, my god, like, ugh. And you know, the other things we talked about, like the minecart level, drove me insane. And yeah.
Okay. For me, yeah. I mean, I'm also gonna say no. I mean, one, I don't know really anything about Lucky Luke. But I feel like if somebody did like Lucky Luke, there's probably better games out there that are based on Lucky Luke, because if there's worse games out there based on Lucky Luke, I feel bad for this franchise. Because this game is just... I don't like. I don't know. I didn't really. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't really like it. It was just like there was parts I hated in the game, but there was no parts I really liked either. I don't know. It was just I don't like it. I wouldn't tell somebody to play it. And with that being said, it's time to take Lucky Luke and put it on the list.
The list.
The list.
You can follow along with the list in the paste bin in the description below, where every single episode of the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, we take the game that we are talking about and we put it on this list. And the list is ranked from best to worst. And every week on the regular episodes, we add a game as well. So it's just an ongoing list, and we have to fit these games in where we can, where we think they belong. So with that being said, taking a look at the list, I always start with who picked the game and ask them on their opinion first. So Noah, what are you thinking?
As much as I like the game, obviously, as a package, it can be very frustrating and difficult, and it could definitely use some polish in multiple areas. So, I don't know, I'm looking around 180 area.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you? What do you guys think?
I would like it below Intelligent Cube, or at least below Intelligent Cube.
Intelligent Cube, 190.
I agree that at least below Intelligent Cube, because Intelligent Cube is a better game. More fun.
Like Incredible Crisis, we can have a discussion about, and Mario Pinball Land, same. But like, I think every game above this I had more enjoyment with. Generally speaking, and I also think like they're just more interesting and probably better. Well, Crusader No Remorse is a discussion, but I think that game is more interesting than this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think actually Intelligent Cube needs to go a little bit higher, but yeah, I'm good with the below.
I wouldn't hate Intelligent Cube going a little bit higher either, but I definitely think it's not as good as Intelligent Cube in any game above it, honestly, because every game above it I feel like it has just better. I mean, polish wise and gameplay wise, so I'm okay with that. I mean, Incredible Crisis, again, that is a discussion, because like Incredible Crisis, I like its charm, like I like how goofy and silly it is, but like a lot of the mini games are like pretty shit.
Yeah, and repetitive.
Yeah. And yeah, but like I do like how funny and silly and ridiculous that game is, but
yeah, it definitely has some charm. Well, a good amount of charm.
Yeah. I like the family in that game.
Yeah,
I just don't really like playing it, honestly. But yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right.
All right, so that's gonna put Lucky Luke at number 199 on the list, and surrounding it, we got some Game Club games actually. So we'll list them off here. Surrounding it, 197, The Simpsons Arcade, old Game Club game. One of
like the second one, right?
Third one actually. But our most listened to track in the history of the Jump Up Supercast.
Wow.
Is that episode. And number 198, IQ Intelligent Cube, 199, Lucky Luke, 200, Incredible Crisis, and 201, Mario Pinball Land.
An old Game Club game.
Very old.
That wasn't part of this Game Club.
Yeah, it was not part of this game. You can't find that on the internet probably anymore. But yeah, that's it for the Jump Up Supercast Game Club. But before we go, we got a couple of things, some plugs that we can go over here for you guys. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give us a like, a follow, comment, share. Comment and tell us what you thought about Lucky Luke. If you played this game, or what you think about the series. Have you played another Lucky Luke game before? Is it better than this one? Let us know. And maybe tell us what else you'd be interested in us playing. We like to hear it out. We like to hear about interesting games all the time. So do that, and you can also follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Give us a follow on those, and we'll post every time an episode goes up. Jump Up Supercast Game Club is up every other Thursday, and the normal Jump Up Supercast episodes where we just go over game news, add games to the list, among other things, talking about games we played and all sorts of stuff. Those go up every single Monday. So we're always putting out content, so we'd appreciate you guys if you want to support us. And if you really do want to give us some extra support, we do have a Patreon where for as low as $1 a month, you can support us and get access to our Discord for Jump Up Supercast, where you can listen to the recordings live. You can talk to us about games, suggest Game Club games, and even if you're a Patreon supporter, we let you guys pick a game every round. Game we played right before this was Style Savvy Fashion Forward, which was picked by a Patreon supporter. So if you have a game that you really want us to play, you can do that just for $1 a month, and we'll pick a game at random that each person picks. So that's really fun. We also have Twitch channel, twitch.tv/jumpupsupercast, where we've been playing a lot of games on there recently. Ill's been playing Divinity with Saf and Muzzy, and Muzzy's been playing Super Mario games. I've been streaming Fall Guys here and there, and we've streamed Among Us. We might do that again. So lots of stuff being streamed on twitch.tv/jumpupsupercast if you want to hang out and watch us play games. And with all that being said, now it's my turn. Normally right now I'd be surprising you guys with what game I picked and telling you for the first time. But not in this situation. It was a rare situation where the game that I was choosing was on sale in the Nintendo eShop, and I was like, it was ending that day when I saw it, and I was like, I better fucking tell them because it's on like 70% off right now. So I was like, I'm gonna break my rule and just tell them early. And that game, and the reason why I picked this game here is because, you know what? By the time we record this episode and it goes up and everything, it's gonna be October. In October, it's going to be, you got to play a spooky game. So I was like, yeah, I gotta move this one up on my list a little bit of games that I'm going to choose. So doing it for the season. And that game is called Little Nightmares.
Here we go.
So we're going to play that. It's a recent game, and I've always wanted to play it. It looks kind of cool. So we're going to play that 2 weeks from now. We'll be back, and we'll tell you what we thought. I might even stream it, so if you want to do that, give us a follow on Twitch. So thank you guys for joining me, Ills and Noah. Thanks for playing games. And everybody, thank you guys so much for listening. Go out there, play some video games, and be nice.